here.
Ready? 3, 2.
Okay.
All right, I'm calling this meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Isla Vista Community Services District. It's 6:06 p.m. I'd like to announce the meeting is being recorded. Jonathan, can you do roll call?
Director Brett.
Here.
Director Carmichael.
Here.
Director Dashlin.
Here.
Director C.
Here.
Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge the Chumash people who are the traditional custodians of this land. We pay our respects to the Chumash elders, past, present, and future, who call this place Aniscoyo, the land that Isla Vista sits upon, their home. We are proud to continue their tradition of coming together and growing as a community. We thank the Chumash community for their stewardship and support, and we look forward to strengthening our ties as we continue our relationship of mutual respect and understanding. Now we're going to move to the consent agenda. Do any directors have items that they wish to pull? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I will second the motion.
Motion to pass the agenda.
Made by Cebos.
I'm like, I don't know how that works.
I like it. Let's do seconds before we do the motions,
Yeah.
just to mess everybody up.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion by Cebos and a second by Carmichael. Is there any public comment on the consent agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we're going to move to the public comment period. This is the time for any member of the public to speak on anything that is not on today's agenda. So if you'd like to speak on something that is on today's agenda, we'll open public comment in each individual discussion action item. Do we have any general public comment requests? No one here in person, nothing online. Okay, we'll close public comment period. And we'll move to 4.1, introduction of IVCSD's Community Engagement Project Manager, Eleanor Ellie Lloyd.
Turn it over to Maya.
Eleanor Ellie?
She goes by
My
Ellie.
name is Eleanor, but I go by Ellie.
I was like, Eleanor Ellie? That's a
You must
great
say
name.
both every time. We're really excited to welcome Ellie onto the team. She has a background as an alumni of UCSD. She was a film and media studies major. She also did some of our content creation when we outsourced for Deltopia, so you might recognize some of her fun work. She also has a background in copywriting and please come in. Yeah, come in. And we are really excited to have her join us and our team as the project manager role. She's already been diving in headfirst, working on one of our first video essays that we will be launching in the fall for Move-In. So welcome to the team, Ellie. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm very glad to be here and meet all of you face to face. So excited to work together more in the future. Yeah, great.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We're really excited to have you. You're going to be working as part of an awesome, excellent team. And it's awesome to hear that you've got a background, having already worked with us on some of the things that we put out there content-wise in the past. So thank you very much for being here and introducing yourself.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And now with on a sad note, we will transition to item 4.2, resolution 25-15, honoring the service of Leslie Sanchez.
Leslie is here and she is leaving us in about 10 days or 9 days. And we wanted to honor her work. She was our first community spaces project manager and implemented our fee rental system and built so many relationships with people in Isla Vista we couldn't before because we didn't have someone on our team who spoke Spanish. And so she's done an amazing job building those bridges for IVCSD. So thank you, Leslie. You've been amazing for the last 2.5, and she was an intern and rose up the ranks and got a full-time job. So we really appreciate her service to IVCSD.
Do you want us to read the resolution?
Yes,
Yes.
please do.
Okay.
Nice.
So resolution number 25-15, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Isla Vista Community Services District honoring the service of Leslie Sanchez.
Whereas Leslie Sanchez has served the Isla Vista Community Service District with dedication, compassion, and excellence as the Community Spaces Project Manager from August 2023 to August 2025. And
Whereas throughout her 2 years of service, Leslie has built strong and lasting relationships with community members, always going above and beyond to support the Isla Vista community with warmth, humility, and grace. And
Whereas Leslie has played an instrumental role in improving partnerships with several community groups, especially with local families and long-term residents, expanding access to programs and services in a meaningful way.
whereas Leslie has gone far beyond her job expectations to ensure that the district materials and outreach efforts are translated into Spanish, which has drastically increased participation from our Spanish-speaking families and made district events more inclusive and welcoming. And
whereas Leslie has consistently advocated for the needs and ideas she hears from the community, ensuring they're reflected in programming, outreach, and the use of public spaces. And
Whereas through her attentive management of community space reservations, Leslie has helped activate Isla Vista's shared spaces in ways that bring people together and foster connection.
whereas Leslie has supported our community festivals diligently with her hard work, attention to detail, and dedication to cultivating safe, welcoming, and fun community gatherings.
And whereas Leslie embraces new responsibilities with enthusiasm and adaptability, embodying the spirit of collaboration and initiative in every project she tackles.
Whereas Leslie's steady reliability and generous spirit have made her a beloved colleague and essential part of the district's day-to-day success.
Whereas Leslie has made a profound and lasting impact on the Isla Vista community and the district team, and she will be deeply missed as she embarks on her next chapter.
And now therefore, the Board of Directors of the Isla Vista Community Services District hereby resolved as follows. The IVCSD Board of Directors hereby expresses its sincere appreciation to Leslie for her dedicated and heartfelt service to Isla Vista and wishes her continued success, growth, and happiness in all of her future endeavors.
Thank you very much, Leslie. It's just been such an honor to work with you. Your spirit, your care for people in the community, for building bridges, establishing new relationships, and really establishing quality relationships is something that has been something that I've admired, a skill of yours. And I think that when we look back and the community center and all the work that got put in and all the vision for what we hoped it would be, we really have not like we went into this with a lot of hopes and dreams, but we didn't know exactly how it would pan out. And I think that when we look back someday, we'll say that you were such a critical portion of making this project happen and creating a space that is welcoming for the diversity in our community, whether it's students, whether it's families, whether it's other long-term residents, whether it's groups from outside the community that are now seeing Isla Vista in a new light because of the fun events, parties, and workshops and classes that they attend at the Isla Vista Community Center. So I just really appreciate everything that you've done to make that happen, even in the moments where it doesn't feel glamorous, when it's just setting up or cleaning up for an event. We see you out there doing that, and it has been just something that is so meaningful to me to see someone that cares so much about the mission and has done such an excellent job. We're really going to miss you.
Thank you, guys.
Well said.
Being here and working with you all. I've learned so much from you guys, and a lot more than I ever expected, I guess. I feel like I've grown because of you all and this role, and I've learned so much from you, especially because, working with you and all of our meetings, you guided me in ways that are really, really, have impacted me. So thank you.
I'll say one more thing, and then I'm gonna try to keep myself together because I keep crying for these things. I am just so proud of you. I feel like when I first hired you, you were just applying for the after-school program, and you managed a group like a bunch of kiddos to now thinking that you not only manage the reservation system, but you run it and you build connections and you've grown the community center in ways that I could have never expected. And I'm just so proud of the woman that I've seen you grow into. So thank you so much,
Okay, do we have any public comment on the resolution to honor Leslie Sanchez?
No pressure.
Their public comment is that they're here.
Yes, the public
This is
comment
way
is
more
this
than we normally
incredible, beautiful display. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for being here to honor her.
Darle las gracias a Leslie por toda la ayuda que nos da. Estamos muy agradecidos con ella.
Y yo con ustedes.
Vinimos aquí de colado.
No.
Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you for those comments. Okay, can I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Made by Sipos, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Carmichael. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Thank you again.
Oh,
Yes.
bring your flowers. Yeah.
I'm gonna recess.
Who, was that
Okay,
family or was that
we
community?
are,
Constituents.
Community members.
we are reconvening the August 12th meeting of the Board of Directors. And we are going to move to item 4.3, which is, sorry, I lost my place. ICE enforcement activities and district response. And I'm going to open this item. Director Carmichael and I asked for this to be on the agenda in response to the recent ICE enforcement activity in the Central Coast in Santa Barbara County over the last 2 months. There have been 111 immigration enforcement related arrests. We've seen families separated. We've seen community members have their workplaces invaded by immigration enforcement officers that have used very aggressive tactics, including use of unmarked vehicles, masks, and in some cases, agents who have refused to identify themselves when asked. And this entire situation, which is entirely the doing of the federal government, has created a real climate of fear in our community. People are afraid to utilize public services. People are concerned about their own or their family's immigration status. There was a survey done by the Chamber of Commerce that said over 60% of Santa Barbara businesses have been impacted because whether it's their workers not feeling comfortable to show up for work or customers, there are major impacts to a region. And so we wanted to bring this item forward to do what we can here in Isla Vista to uplift the dignity of the immigrant community in Isla Vista and to take some tangible steps to support immigrants in Isla Vista. What you'll see on the report is really 4 recommendations. The first is for a resolution, which we'll read momentarily. The second is for a policy requiring a judicial warrant for ICE to enter district facilities. And this really just clarifies what already exists under federal law, which is that a administrative warrant is not sufficient. There must be a judicial warrant signed by a judge for ICE agents to enter non-public areas of district buildings like offices and employee workspaces. And this is really in line with California state policy direction through the California Values Act, or SB 54, which prohibits local law enforcement agencies from working and coordinating with federal immigration enforcement. And really, this is just to help also establish clear procedures for our staff for what to do and what would happen if ICE were to come to the community center, come to the community room, come to our district offices, come to other district facilities. And Catherine, do you want to talk a little bit about the state legislation positions component of this?
Yeah, sure. So we also wanted to support, register our support for 4 state bills going through the California legislature, just to kind of expand our reach. The first is SB 627 by Wiener, Oregon, and Perez, which has received widespread support from the community as well. This is pretty simple, just prohibiting any law enforcement officer, federal, state, what have you, from wearing a mask or disguise unless it's, surgical mask to prevent the spread of infections, just to make sure that we have transparency and that people know, who these agents are and what they're doing. Currently, that bill has passed through the Senate floor, but it's currently in the Assembly and obviously awaits the governor's signature if it makes it that far. Our next piece of legislation was SB 580 by Senator Durazo, which requires the Attorney General to develop and publish model policies for state and local agencies for interacting with immigration enforcement. And it requires state and local agencies to implement these model policies. Again, this passed the Senate and is currently in the Assembly Appropriations Committee, waiting for full approval from the Assembly and Governor. Last one, SB 805, nice number, from Perez and Weiner, which requires all law enforcement officers operating within the state of California to visibly display identification and badge numbers, things like that. It makes it a violation of their duties not to do so. Yeah, and makes violation of this requirement would be a misdemeanor. As with all the bills we have here on our slate, passed the Senate, currently waiting in the Assembly Appropriations Committee. And our final bill that we're offering, or considering offering our support for, SB 98 by Perez, which would require governing boards of education agencies, primarily CSU, CCC, community colleges, and the UC, to issue notifications when individuals, excuse me, when immigration enforcement individuals is confirmed in their respective campuses or school sites, which also measure contains an urgency clause, so it would just happen a little bit faster. Again, it's passed the Senate, waiting for the Assembly, and this one of note, we were, I guess, especially excited to support, just because, you know, obviously we have UCSB right here, and so many of our residents are UCSB students or staff, you know, interact with UCSB in some way. So we just also wanted to make sure that our local partners are on board with this as well. And I should go to fiscal impact. Yeah, so we're also considering a $10,000 emergency transfer grant to be evenly distributed between 805 UndocuFund and the Immigrant Legal Defense Center.
Awesome. Thanks for summarizing that. And really, the last thing that I'll highlight as we go through the resolution is that we're also re-expressing the district's unwavering support for immigrant communities and asking and calling on our local leaders, our federal, state, and local leaders, particularly those in law enforcement, to use their authority and their public platform to call for de-escalation of these enforcement activities immediately. This situation, it has risen to the point that in many of the reports that we've seen, these actions are in like direct opposition to the constitutional oath that law enforcement has sworn to uphold as they protect and serve. And so I think it's really important that we ask our local law enforcement leaders to use that moral authority they have to push back. And that really starts, I think, with our elected sheriff in Santa Barbara County. So the resolution has a clause to that end. So with that, we're happy to answer any questions from the board and hear from the public as well about the need for an action on this. And we appreciate you listening to us.
If we give money, is that not a conflict of interest? Can an elected officials or can a city organization give money to lobbyists?
You have to speak up.
Wait,
I think, yeah.
Wait,
I'm not gonna do.
Is it legal for us to give money? Is what I'm asking essentially.
For our grant proposal.
Yeah, our attorney Jamie's on the Zoom.
Yeah, I can answer that. As long as the board finds that there's a public purpose that has to do with Isla Vista that is served for donating or giving grant money, then it should not be an issue.
All right, thanks, Jamie.
So if I could, if that was the direction of the board, I would recommend a modification to the resolution to include a public purpose finding.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you for that, Jamie. That was the purpose. Yeah. Any other questions from the board? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so I'll open it up for public comment. Do we have any public comment on this item? I'm seeing one over here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And feel free to stand
like.
and state your name for the record.
Okay. I stand. Okay.
Whatever you want.
Hello, good evening. My name's Anastasia.
I am here on behalf of Planned Parenthood California Central Coast Action Fund, and I want to state that PPCCAF stands with the immigrant communities of Santa Barbara County and within Isla Vista. I just wanted to give a testimony to how the recent ICE raids have been impacting our abilities to serve patients. At PPCCAF, our vision is to create a community where all members have equitable opportunity to experience high quality healthcare, and that healthcare being provided with respect and without fear of judgment or discrimination. With masked figures and unmarked vehicles and ICE agents patrolling the streets and in the community, our neighbors are fearful to leave their homes, let alone go out and seek the healthcare that they deserve and need. This growing fear is building barriers of distrust, and it's halting people's lives and halting their ability to seek healthcare, which directly affects the ability to care for patients and their families. I believe that the board must act to protect the community from this dangerous and corrosive federal overreach, which seeks to disrupt, disappear, and destroy the community that makes up our neighbors, families, friends, and colleagues. So I do ask the board to allocate those funds to immigrant communities and the organizations that provide the essential resources to the immigrant communities, and adopt the proclamation to support immigrant communities and condemn ICE raids. I agree with supporting the bills that require ICE agents to properly identify themselves in appearance, vehicle, and documentation, along with giving students in higher education notice of ICE activities in the area. And I implore the board to continue to listen and hear the effect that this has had on the communities, especially within Isla Vista, and make that a priority to speak with those people directly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any public comment online?
No one has raised their hand.
Yeah, I'd like to make a public comment. Sorry, I forgot to do the hand raise. It's nice to see all of you. I've met most of you before, but in case I haven't met you, my name's EJ. I'm going to be serving as the EVPLA for UCSB's associated students this coming academic year. And I did want to come on here and talk a little bit about this issue that our community is facing and sort of what we can do on the associated student side of things to help address it. And so first, I want to say that the work you guys are planning and doing these resolutions look like amazing, and I'm super happy with them. And they look great. So thank you for that. I just want that to be known. And if you guys ever need any assistance on the associated student side of things with anything in here, whether that be, that could be like publicity and making things known and raising awareness. It could be pretty much anything you ever need more hands on deck. We're always here to help out. And so I want to extend that. And then in terms of sort of some of the things we're doing on our side of things, we have been working on certain ways to help address this issue. One of the big ones that we were able to sort of do earlier this summer, and it's something that we're still kind of working on, is essentially like physical signs and postage around different parts of IV and on campus that sort of, I guess, notify what is and what isn't allowed for ICE agents to enter. And so it's something that we're trying to do in coherence with, California state law and everything like that. And I believe there are some businesses and stuff in the area should have signs that state whether or not ICE may enter. And I think it's something we're also trying to add to like some of the dorms on campus and stuff like that, and making that postage known. That way, some of our members of our immigrant community can know where, these are areas where, they are safe from immigration customs enforcement. These are areas where, they may be able to enter. And I think raising awareness from that physically is going to help a lot with people knowing where they can, be, hopefully safe from these sorts of things. And then in terms of resource, providing, our one of our executive board members, our student advocate general, Sydney Bivens, she's doing great work on this. She's currently compiling a list of pretty much all the available resources that Associate Students provides. And one of the big sections of that list is resources for immigrant students. Previously in this last spring quarter, the Office of the Student Advocate General tried to do like a workshop to kind of provide these resources for immigrant students, but like unfortunately not many people showed up, and we think it's likely because having it in person can make some students feel a little bit afraid and a little bit scared and hesitant to have like their face shown at something like this, and they don't want to draw that sort of attention to themselves, which is totally understandable. So that's why we're working on creating like that online resources that can just be emailed out to all students. They can have access to that, totally anonymously, and know where they can go. And we are also trying to partner with some of the BCUs on campus who offer support for immigrant students, for foreign exchange students, all those sorts of things. So that's some of the stuff that we're working on internally. And yeah, I mean, I'm really happy that you guys are also totally on board. And that, like I said, if you guys ever need any assistance with any of these efforts, like don't at all hesitate to reach out. We're super on board. And like, I'm glad that we're all in agreement on really like protecting and serving our immigrant communities here.
Thank you very much for the comment, EJ, and appreciate you talking about Associated Students' response. Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
All right. Do we have any other requests to speak online, Jonathan?
No.
Okay. Seeing none, close public comment, bring it back to the board for any thoughts. Go ahead, Director Deschler.
Yes. So there are times when issues come up before the board where I have to distinguish. I always represent the university. I have to make sure that's very clear. And so sometimes it's a challenge because as an individual, there are things that I support personally, but because I represent the university and in this role, I have to follow the university's protocols. So and why that's important is because individual campuses are prohibited by Regental policy from taking positions on state legislation. We can only take positions that have been approved by the regents. The regents give that authority to the president, and the president in turn to the offices in state governmental relations and federal governmental relations in DC. And in this case, I did inquire as to if UC had a position of support on these bills, and I was told no. And it's really important that I make clear that a position of support is not the same as being opposed. That there are very few bills that the UC office takes positions of support on. And many times not taking a position is much better than taking an opposed. And in this case, it was told to me that there's no position being taken. And there are conversations with authors on various pieces of legislation. So because of the way this is coming to the board, state legislation is being bundled with other items. I'm going to abstain from this vote.
So if we restrict the clause related to state legislation at this time and possibly brought it back as an item on a later date when we had a full board to vote, would you feel comfortable moving forward with the other pieces?
So puts me on the spot, but then I did just open the door, didn't I?
I'll give you a moment.
So let me see. So some I think. So I think that in my position, I can support the allocation of funding, district funding. And I could not be supportive of the resolution because of the way it's written. Does that matter? Is that
what
okay?
other specific?
Because of the reference to legislation and the
So that's what I'm saying. Is
yeah,
strike,
if you would pull that out.
Strike that.
Mhm.
We also had an update to policy about use of our spaces.
Yeah, that's fine as well. Yeah,
it's just
And
things
the-
that refer to state policy.
The state
It's only
policy,
the one clause.
So so since the resolution is going to be amended already to include the public purpose.
Could I interrupt you? You're really obnoxious. I think that in the position of being representing the campus, I don't think that it's appropriate for us to for us to vote on anything that condemns ICE operations, because that hasn't been, I don't believe that's been a policy that's come out from the university. So the only thing that I feel comfortable supporting is district funding for these entities that are working on behalf of people affected by ICE actions.
Yeah, so how about I read what we're actually passing?
Okay,
And then
okay.
you tell
Yeah,
me
I'm sorry.
how you feel comfortable.
And you don't
So-
need to do any of this for me, because we can
We
still, we do.
There's 4.
Because there's
of us.
only 4 of us, and we need all 4 of us to vote.
Oh, I can't
You
abstain?
can pass it with 3 votes.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
so. I think I
Conferred
can
with Jamie.
abstain.
We can pass with 3 votes.
I just spoke to Jamie about it.
Okay,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I can clarify, we just need a simple majority of the quorum to pass the resolution, so that can be 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So how about I just abstain?
Yes, that's fine. So we will, let's not incorporate any amendments for you. I was prepared to do that if it meant passing, because it's, I think, critical that we move things along today.
Yeah.
But I understand the unique position you're in. I think the only piece of feedback that I would give, and it's not to you, Director Deschler, but it's to the university as a whole, is that I think that there is an opportunity to create greater bonds of trust with undocumented students by embracing in concept initiatives like what is envisioned in Senate Bill 98 as a signal that the university will not be complicit in what we are seeing across the nation and indeed here in Santa Barbara County. And I know that that's something that you will take back as feedback from the community. And I appreciate that.
100%. And there are many resources on campus for our undocumented students, as well as our undocumented staff. So there is a lot of work that is happening on the campus level to support those individuals. I think when it comes to condemning federal actions, that's where I have to be careful, because we don't have established policy in that. And there are other issues involving the federal government and UC at the moment, which makes taking positions way beyond my pay grade. So, but thank you. I will pass on what I can.
So let's read the resolution into the record before we call vote. This is a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Isla Vista Community Services District proclaiming support for immigrant communities and condemning ICE raids. Whereas Isla Vista is home to a vibrant community of immigrants from a variety of places, backgrounds, and identities, including many mixed status families who all contribute to the cultural, economic, and social fabric of our community. And whereas there have been at least 111 arrests in Santa Barbara County since January 14, representing a significant escalation in federal immigration enforcement activities, creating a climate of fear. And whereas fear of immigration enforcement has led to decreased attendance at community events, reduced utilization of public services, and increased economic and workforce issues and barriers to educational access. And whereas documentation of ICE operations have demonstrated concerning practices, including the use of unmarked vehicles and agents refusing to properly identify themselves to community members, use of excessive force, entry onto private property without apparent judicial warrants, destruction of private property, including breaking the window of a man's work truck during enforcement operations, and agents displaying dismissive, unprofessional, and inappropriate behavior towards community members exercising their constitutional rights. And whereas to enter and search private homes or on non-public areas, ICE requires a valid judicial warrant signed by a court and signed by a judge from the Superior Court of California, issued by a court and signed by a judge from the Superior Court of California or U.S. District Court, not merely an administrative warrant from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And whereas laws and standards that require immigration officers to identify themselves, including Title 8 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Section 287, are in place to protect public safety and guard against vigilantism. And whereas the California Values Act, Senate Bill 54, and the Immigrant Worker Protection Act, AB 450, limit cooperation between local agencies and the federal government for the purposes of immigration enforcement. Now, therefore, the Board of Directors resolves, first, the Isla Vista Community Service District Board of Directors expresses its complete and unwavering support for immigrant communities who are a critical part of what makes Isla Vista a special place. Second, the Isla Vista Community Services District Board of Directors hereby adopts the judicial warrant for ICE entry to district facilities policy set forth in Exhibit A, attached here to, effective immediately upon adoption of the resolution. District staff are hereby authorized to take any steps deemed necessary by the general manager to implement the policy. Second, number 3, the Isla Vista Community Services District Board of Directors takes a support position for the following legislation: Senate Bill 98, Senate Bill 627, Senate Bill 580, and Senate Bill 805. And lastly, the Isla Vista Community Services District allocates $10,000 in one-time emergency grants to be split evenly among 805 UndocuFund and the Immigrant Legal Defense Center, finding a public purpose and benefit for the work of these entities to provide including legal assistance and public notification of ICE activity to Isla Vista residents as critical. And lastly, the Board of Directors condemns immigration enforcement raids on the Central Coast and calls on all federal, state, and local law enforcement leaders to use their authority and public platform to de-escalate immigration enforcement activities immediately. And with that, we will do a roll call vote.
Director Brandt,
Yes.
Director Carmichael,
Yes.
Director Sipos,
Yes.
Director Deshner.
Abstain.
Okay, motion passes with a majority of the quorum voting. I just want to say a thank you to both of our public speakers for their support for these actions and for detailing the critical work that associate students and Planned Parenthood are doing during this really dark time. And I want to say a big thank you to our staff for working on a super time crunch schedule to look through this building policy and figure out how to make it workable, figure out how to make it something that is going to be in service of the community members that use the community center and use the community room, something that is within the law. Thank you to our legal counsel, something that actually has some teeth. And I really appreciate that this is like a new sort of thing for us to have to think about training for what happens if ICE shows up. But it's, I think, really critical that we take these threats seriously because we see them happening here in our own backyard. And so I just want to say thank you again.
We did not have a first and second for the motion.
Okay.
Oh, we are not doing well today.
Got you. It's all good.
Okay.
Not on there. Do we still have to do it?
Okay.
Just
So
have to do it.
would anyone like to make the motion?
Oh, yes, I would like to make the motion.
All right.
And I will second it.
Okay. Motion made by Carmichael, seconded by Sipos. And I think we already took the vote. We do need to do it again for posterity.
Sure.
Wrap it around.
Okay.
Director Brandt,
Yes.
Director Carmichael.
Yes.
Director Sipos.
Yes.
Director Deshner.
Abstain.
Okay. Motion passes.
We had an off-camera vote. Does that count? Of course, with
Yeah,
the
it's
legal
fine.
And then
counsel?
I think everyone can hear.
We'll make you come back and do it again.
Oh, boy.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Good job, guys.
Great job. Great job. Thanks. Helpful information about IVCSD specifically.
We are now going to move to the next item on our agenda. If I can find the agenda because I lost it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I can start
have
next
it.
on the agenda.
Okay.
We're just doing our budget.
Oh, yes, it's the budget hearing to adopt the budget year 25-26 budget, and I'll hand it over to staff to present.
Wait, I'm so sorry to just be a menace. Before we move on, I also wanted to thank Spencer for all the hard work that he did. I know he thanks staff, which again, thank you for the time crunch. I know that you're all very busy, so thank you for indulging me with that. And thank you to Spencer for listening to me talk and then putting all the work together in a beautiful cohesive document. Okay, now we can.
Thank you for being the driving force behind this to say, we got to do something because this is a dire situation.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I am quite loud. Okay, budget.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
Okay, so we're gonna present the final budget and we'll go over the top numbers, especially the things that changed.
Okay, perfect.
And, but we did present mostly the same thing in June, and so only a small number of things have changed since then.
Perfect.
Okay, so summary. Our revenue is 1,946,000 and our expenses are 1,945,000. And we're using 130,550 one-time reserve withdrawal to cover our operating deficit. So that's included in the revenue number.
Okay.
Revenue breakdown, utility user tax, 1.5 million, UCSB, 200,000. We have a agreement with the county they give us 15,000 to manage this room in exchange for the rent. We plan to get 30,000 again from our reservations. Our reserve withdrawal, once again, is 130,000. Sales and sponsorships, 5,000 each. And grants are to be decided, but we are going after grants all the time. And we do get them, but we don't budget for them. And this is just a breakdown of revenue. As you can see, utility user tax pretty much 80% of our budget. So the others do have an impact, UCSB one mainly, but mainly utility user tax. Expenses, we, again, not a lot of change in the distribution of things. So it's still 66% non-operations and 34% operations. And on the salary versus services and supplies, we're 62% salaries and 34% services and supplies. And insurance is its own 4%. And what we're spending money on in our operations budget, we have our board compensation, our general manager and assistant general manager compensation, 2 interns. One of them was added new over the summer for data management. So there's a lot coming up this year for data needs. And then our accountant, our attorney, our insurance, workers' compensation, training, and office costs. And you can see that's how it breaks down. So it's mainly staff. Community programs and engagement. Again, we have multiple full-time positions, 3 in this area. An intern it's new this year, but was already added in June. We added new budget in here for cliff safety education after we've been working with associated students to finalize. And then we also added a budget one-time cost for new couches at the community center because the ones we found or were donated to us a long time ago. They were very old at that point already. So we need some new couches. And this is the breakdown of the community programs and engagement department. It's community engagement heavy, and that is because it's been a priority for us to do that. In public works and sustainability, 3 full-time positions. We have a pretty big crew of different temporary employees who do beautification, composting, move out work. We have our power washing, our tree distribution, lighting distribution, and then 3 ADA bathrooms on Del Playa, and that's new from the June budget.
Could I ask a question about that?
Yes.
So of the ADA DP restrooms,
Yeah.
is that our contribution and that's shared with the county
With the
and
county.
IVRPD?
Just the county.
Just the county.
Yeah, so we pay 3/4 of it, and they pay 1/4.
Okay, wait, let me understand this. So the university said there was a settlement, the university and the county, and from that settlement, funding was gonna go for bathrooms.
Oh, I think they're trying to build a bathroom with that money.
That's different than
Yeah,
this.
this is just
Okay,
the
okay.
Marburg, it's like 6,000 a year.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
different from a permit. Okay, thank you.
No, it's a good
I'm
question.
gonna
This
lose
is
my mind.
this
I
is
was
gonna
gonna lose
be
my mind.
this is gonna be the solution for probably a long time because I don't know when that bathroom will be built.
These are portables.
The
Yeah.
portables,
Yeah.
so those will probably be out there for a while. Till
Permanent will need coastal commission?
it's gonna need sewage, I think. I don't think the parks are
Everything.
hooked up, so yeah, it's gonna be a big project probably.
Yeah, and on that, I want to thank our team for working with second district office to strongly recommend the ADA bathrooms. I understand that these are larger, and so it is very unlikely that they would tip over. And that has been a challenge that we've received a number of emails about. So I just appreciate, being responsive to working with the county to uplift that concern and say this needs to happen.
So we received community concerns about them tipping over?
A lot.
Oh, they,
Like, have they
we
actually
didn't receive the
before?
concerns, we saw them tip over.
No, we get the emails
It's
a lot.
happened.
We saw the
Yeah.
pictures.
Okay, that's great.
Could you just tell us where the locations are, if you know them off the top of your head?
I don't know what the three,
Okay.
we have 4 right now, so we're gonna move to 3. I think it's gonna be Walter Caps is one of them. Pelican has had one, and another one has been at Windows to the Sea. But when now it's moving to 3, we're gonna try to spread
So
them out.
IVRPD is not contributing funding for the bathrooms,
No, this is a CSD county project, and
but those are IVRPD parks?
some of them are on like the curb.
Oh, I got it,
Yeah.
okay,
And like Caps Park is not a county park.
right.
Or sorry, not a IVRP.
Yeah, there's
Right.
2 at Caps Park
Right.
right now.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I do see them get used all the time.
Oh, no, they're well used. They're well used, so. And then that's the breakdown. So it's beautification is the main focus of our public works sustainability budget. And housing, 21,000, smaller program currently, mainly mediation, some legal advice, and some marketing money for housing. And then safety, we have 3 safety stations, and we added some new budget for equipment for the CSOs, like hand warmers, and to launch the 3rd station, we need like a new easy up. So we added a little bit more money to do that. And then fund balance, so we're gonna need to spend $69,000 from our undesignated reserves, which will make them go down to 0. And partially some from our strategic reserve. And then 61,000 will come from our, we've had reserves for specific programs over the years from unspent money. So we still have those. They've been taking a while to spend down, but this year we're hopefully spending them down. And then we just are reconfirming for the 3rd time that we have 250,000 reserves for parking operations and 50,000 for parking capital costs. This is a big chart of our fund balance, but the numbers at the end are the most important, and there's an easier one to see in the attachments. But we plan to end next year, June, at 1.7 million in our fund balance. And that's a chart of our fund balance over time. So we are a little lower than the past, but we've been making big projects happen. So we spent some of our fund balance, for example, on our mobility and parking plans. So those were important to us.
What is the legal requirement for the fund balance?
5%.
5%.
So we're way above any
Yeah.
legal requirement, but we have our own policy, which is in the budget book of how the fund balance needs to be funded. So, there's like a waterfall method where, it's not required to meet them. It's just when we have fund balance, here's where it goes to these different buckets before it can be undesignated. So like our strategic, our capital, our maintenance fund. So.
Got it.
And that's our budget for this year. So. That's it.
Excellent. Thank you for the presentation. Any questions from the board?
It looks pretty dang good.
I have a question, which is less about what is in the budget, but what didn't make it in the budget.
Yeah.
Were there needs identified in the budget process that you can talk about that we were not able to meet this budget?
There were a couple of things that didn't make it in, but a couple of them did over the summer from the June budget to this one. So like the data intern wasn't in, and now it got in, and we did have some extra money come in. It was nice little surprise. The sewage taxes went up by $40,000 year to year. I think they seem to be increasing by the same percentage every year right now. So I'm gonna go inquire to see if there's like scheduled rate increases at Goleta West, but it's been 25% increase last year and then this year now. So that's good. So we were able to fund a couple things, but some things that were left on the table. One was a second community engagement intern, but we were okay with that. Another thing that was left on the table is dedicated money for public art. So we said we'll instead wait for projects to come to the board and fund them as needed. And some other things, I mean, so we had some more like district incentives and branding money that didn't get put in. So like just food at meetings and events to like increase attendance, getting new chairs for the community room. We can bring that back. I know that's something the board wanted, we just didn't have it ready yet. So that's something we can look at soon. And just some other upgrades to the community center, like the $5,000 lighting installation and speakers, like do audiovisual in a professional way for people who rent it. You know, Galita has that at the community center, for example. So, and then I interned for the housing mediation program. Didn't get it. Those are the only things that didn't get it.
So the first intern was a second community spaces intern.
So we
And then
have
the
a
second
community
one.
engagement intern, and the second one was another community engagement one.
Okay, perfect.
So
And I appreciate that because those of us that were on the finance committee, which is just me because Carrie and Edward are out, but we got to see those needs and they were all, I mean, awesome, like things that we want to be able to do, but we weren't able to do. And I just want the board and the public to understand that those things that we weren't able to do this year because of the revenue situation, that's already with like our team coming together and trying to figure out like how do we save as much money as possible, right? And so there's things in there that I'm sure that you guys can all think of that are unmet needs that didn't even get proposed because we knew that this was a tough budget year, right? So I just think that it's worth considering. You know, this is the second year in a row where we have been in this financial situation where we have not seen the same level of growth in the utility tax that we've seen in the past. And you know, we need to be thinking about what are the things that we can do to meet those needs, because we still hear about these needs in the community, but we don't have the revenue at this point to support that in a long-term way. What's the amount of money again that we're spending out of our reserves just to meet our operating?
it's $130,000.
130,000. I mean, that's significant. And that's something that we can do this year, and that's what we have our short-term strategic reserve for. But in the long run, I think that if we don't take action on revenue, we're just going to be back here again next year. So that's kind of my stump speech, and maybe it's more of a somber one.
We'll be worse off, right? Because every costs are going up. We're gonna have health insurance costs, we're gonna have, other employment related costs, right? Costs are gonna go, we're gonna be in a worse hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are predicting a 7% increase in our utility tax for the 25-26, but even with the 7% increase, we can't cover the growth in the other costs, which are like 8% growth.
Do we know what the health insurance will be for next year? Have we
Like
gotten that
how
yet?
much it costs? Yes, give me a second. So it costs, it currently costs us $1,380 a month for health, vision, and dental, and then in January it's going to go up to $1,561
Per
So it's-
employee,
per employee.
Yeah.
14% increase.
14?
14. I mean, that's unusual. Like other years, it's been 2%, 3% for health insurance. This year it was a big one, but we don't know those numbers. The insurance, like the general insurance and then the health insurance,
Yeah.
those go up so much.
Yeah, right.
I looked at IVRPD's insurance, and yeah, they are paying 20,000 less than us. So I don't know. We could start
Their
looking.
liability
They're
insurance?
and they have the same payroll, so I don't know why they got a better deal. So it's something for us to look at.
Yeah.
Just $20,000. We're just
Yeah.
And at the same time, we know that it's not just insurance. It's
Right.
it's sector wide. We're having these
Yeah.
types of costs that are going up.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I want to take this as a time for us to like really seriously think about what can we do as a board on the revenue side in terms of trying to come up with additional money, not for this fiscal year, because I think the cake is baked here, but
Yeah.
for future fiscal years.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I think we have so little fat in this budget, you
Yeah.
know? You run such a tight ship in so many ways in the programs. I was thinking, oh, are there some things that next year we relook at and we don't have that need anymore? And I just don't see it in a lot of because we're such a growing organization, and there's been such an untapped need. Does that make sense? For so long that all of a sudden it's like there's a lot of needs and for this community that IVCSD is attempting to fill. And so I think you've done a really admirable job. The staff, really admirable job where we are.
And with that, I'm really also proud of what we were able to do in the budget. We, starting a number of years ago, put away money for getting our parking program set up, and we have $300,000 that will go to hopefully matching the county to be able to begin this program, and that is significant. And it's also once that money is out the door, it won't be there on the balance sheet anymore either. So our fund balance will technically go down as well. That graph that we saw earlier, it will go down even more. But that's a good thing because the money's going out the door to a place that it should be.
Yeah.
At the same time, being able to continue funding the programs that we have in the community center that are very popular, to be able to continue funding the important waste reduction efforts during move out and other times of the year is just so significant. To be able to continue supporting our safety programs, to give people a safe place to go at night, the safety stations, and to be able to think strategically too about how we can get more involved in sexual violence prevention and not just response. All these things are really significant. And so I really do feel like we have kind of accomplished the very cliche goal that you hear of do more with less. But I think that we're doing that with this budget.
And I'm so sorry, I forgot to present one of the slides. So if you want, it's just the 5-year projections.
Yes, please go ahead. That's actually a great way to send.
So these are our 5-year projections, and I'll just point you, we'll just go to the highlighted section, which is the important part. So yeah, this year, 130,000 deficit, next year, 149, the year after 168, the year after 187, the year after that 185, and it's $821,000 over 5 years of deficit, if nothing changes and everything stays exactly the same, which obviously it will not. That's the reason to do something different. But yeah, if we stayed exactly like we are right now and only gave, raises and cost increases and had no cost increases to our services, which is unrealistic, but we held that number steady just to say we are, and just did our raises and COLAs, yeah, we would lose half our fund balance in 5 years. So
that's like the best situation.
No, that's the worst situation. That's
But
us doing nothing. That's us just ignoring the problem and burying our heads in the sand.
But that doesn't, oh, I see what you're saying. So that doesn't include the increase that we're seeing in revenue from Leda West.
It does.
example.
It does. It includes,
Oh, it does.
modest 4% growth
Oh, it does, okay.
of taxes every year. So that's a low amount of growth, historically, but that's what we're just doing 3% COLA, 4% utility growth and raises, and then no change in costs of like the services and supplies, like the festival. But let's say we freeze that cost as of today, we would still be in the hole, 150 to 200,000 a year. So that's a reason to change expenses and revenue significantly.
How much, it's okay if it's an approximate, how much staff time do we spend on, 1, looking and applying for grants, and 2, looking for areas to increase revenue?
So last year we spent time on raising revenues. We did the rental system. So that was new.
Okay.
That was brand new last year.
Mhm.
You know, it was implemented, created and implemented. So that was one. And then we did some revenue in some years with like the move-in sale and the bucket rental, but those are status quo now.
Yeah.
So we've done a little bit of work to raise revenue, but not a lot. I mean, it hasn't been a specific priority to do like other sources of revenue, except for the rental. Like that was a specific thing at a board retreat. We said we got to do this, and we did it. In terms of grants, it just depends on the month. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know, Maya, if you want to talk about like how much you spend a month, maybe less than 10%. Like it's not, you know, as we find them, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
Definitely as like an as need basis. Like when we find one, most of our time goes into it because we're pooling all of our resources, finding all the information. It definitely takes a lot of time, but
Mhm.
when we don't have one, we're obviously not working towards it. So we just look, we keep an eye out. We have the county emails, we have
Okay.
federal emails that we
Okay.
look
Okay.
for.
Mhm.
A lot of partner collaborations on grants, like we
Yeah.
collaborate with universities sometimes to apply for grants or other
Mhm.
nonprofits in the area. And then also we look to like IVCRC for like some like smaller grants and
Yeah.
like looking for funding in that way too. So,
Yeah.
and that's a little bit more of like a consistent basis where we know when they meet and we can bring projects to them. And it doesn't take us long to find them,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
they gave us like $8,000 last year for move out,
Yeah.
but that
yeah.
came out at like the end of May. We didn't know we were gonna
Just
get it,
super
but we
random,
just
yeah.
got it. So, and Jenna worked on that one. Maya's worked on others from IVCRC. I think, you know, they gave us like the Spring Festival.
Mhm.
So, and sometimes we do grants and we help get them and bring in lots of money to IV, but we never see it. Like the grant for the sidewalks, we got, this was back in April, but we got hundreds of thousands of dollars for
Right.
sidewalks, and we spent time on it. But it's never passing through our account, but it's meeting our goals. So,
And that's because we're assisting the county.
yes,
Yeah.
I mean, if it wouldn't have happened for us. So we
Right.
did do a lot of the work and research and found the grant.
Yeah.
Asked them to apply.
Mhm.
They did do some work too, but
Yeah, and to your point, like when it comes to like other city or county level agencies, they'll have like multiple departments with full-time people whose job it is just to
Just
go
find
after
them.
grants and
Yeah.
apply to them.
Yeah.
And we've got like half dozen director and manager
Yeah.
positions, so we're never gonna be in a place where we can really competitively go after grants all the time. I think
Yeah.
it seems like your strategy has been go after the big ones that will make an impact and do it really well,
Mhm.
which is why we scored like highest on that ATP grant application, or
Yeah.
we in partnership with the county. And so I appreciate that you're still looking for the like smaller dollar stuff
Yeah.
as well. But at the same time, we're just going to be stuck as an organization in this holding pattern where we try to tighten our belt and we try to do more with less every single year if we don't make a correction, I think, in the near future when it comes to either our revenue or our services. And I think that there is appetite in the community and desire in the community for us to be doing more.
Mhm.
I think that even this conversation about restrooms is like such a perfect example of what you mentioned, Director Deshler, where we are doing more than we would have like the first year that we were in existence, because there's just this pent up community need. And we're at a place where we are not territorial about things. We're trying to identify needs and we're trying to solve them, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes that means that instead of saying, no, we're not the proper organization to do that, it's saying, yes, let's figure out how to get this done.
Mhm.
And I think that is part of the reason why we have trust in the community, and
Yeah.
an important thing that I don't want to lose in the future. So with that, we'll end our philosophical discussion, get back to the budget. Is there any public comment on the budget?
doesn't look like it.
Nothing online. I'm not seeing anything here in person. Any final thoughts before we go to a vote?
I would like to just thank you and Carrie for all the time that you spend. You guys you do a great job. You're very thoughtful. You spend a lot of hours on this, and Jonathan, you lead so well in this. Your presentation was really great, and I really like the new system It was very easy for me to understand this
Yes.
year. So just hands off to all the people who work on the budget, because it is essential
Yes.
to doing the work that all of you do, and boy, the hours that Spencer and Carrie and Jonathan and all of you work on this is, yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing it, so I don't have to.
Yeah, and I'm also glad that our discussion of where to find money is more of a philosophical issue than well, look at this gaping hole right here. You know, it's a harder issue to solve, but it means we're doing the right thing. Right, so congrats on keeping it tight, Belle. I wish it'd be fun if we had more money.
Yeah,
You guys weren't here when we had like lots of extra money every year deciding how to spend it. That was different times.
I watched it online.
And just thanks to our team for going through the newer process this year with the zero-based budgeting and like just participating in that fully. I think that it definitely helped me understand all of the different little things that we're doing even more this year.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion on the budget?
Do we need a motion?
You do.
Yes. Motion to move forward with, move forward, approve
budget as
the
presented.
budget as presented.
Okay, there's been a motion made by CPOS. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Deschler.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes 4-0.
Yeah.
And with that,
What's that? I'll be on Zoom. Zoom. Thank you.
with that, we're gonna move
Oh, thank you.
to item 4.5, district strategic plan for 24 or 25, 26.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna spend the budget on, I guess.
What did you say? This is what we're gonna spend our time on?
The
budget.
budget, yeah, the budget.
Oh,
yeah.
the budget.
Okay, so this is our draft strategic plan. We've been working on it since March. We have had it at the board a couple times since then, but taking on all the different inputs and hopefully have a good result. I attached the more detailed document, and this PowerPoint is the more overview of things. But if anybody wants me to go in depth on something, we definitely can. And this is just a slide with definitions of, how to read the different words, even though we all know these words, but how they work within our strategic plan, like how we use them. How our system we want to have. So one of the plan goals is to have a dashboard that kind of shows a lot of these data points of what we do, like how much litter we pick up, for example. So having that set up will be one thing we do. We do resident, different forums, focus groups, surveys. So we'll keep integrating that with this system so they get a say in helping. Are we making our progress, or are there issues out there we don't know about? We come to the board, we'll come in regularly to talk about goals that we're making progress on. And then in our staff meetings, we do it every month for sure. So it's definitely a main document we use all the time. It used to be called the board goals. Now it's called strategic plan, but we've always had this for many years. The first goal area is that our Isla Vista is safe, healthy, and enjoyable for all residents, especially on weekend nights and days such as Zeltopia. And then these are different outcomes that we want to try to track. We might not be able to track all of them, and they're not all within our control, but these would be things that would help us validate that the goal is being met. So for example, like helping get the alcohol and substance abuse incidents towards zero. We get to track that through the fire department and EMTs. So they report that they respond to those. We can do other things as a district, like through education and alternative events, to try to influence that. We can't necessarily control it, but we can do, like, for example, we could try to keep improving our spring festival. We can have a public safety plan on how to approach safety in Isla Vista that is community directed. These were all things that came out of our retreat, so I'm not saying anything new here. We want to look into how our nighttime, non-sworn public safety resources all work together between what we do, AS, and the police department. Create a flow chart of how survivors are served in the current system. and also work with our partners to have more preventative services for sexual violence. So this is like just an example of how we do it. So we have our strategic area, we have different outcomes we want to see met, and then these are specific things we're going to do this year to promote these things. And then this is just overviews of each program, which we don't need to do right now, but it's just there for reference for whoever looks at this later. And then our second strategic goal is civic engagement, is meaningful, inclusive, and shapes our decision-making effectively. This has always been a big focus of ours, and wanting to get more people involved in Isla Vista and in the district and in the different opportunities that we have. And then here are some of our goals. So having a scenario-based community feedback system, that was something from our retreat, very specific. Having a system for board members to build relationships with the community through regular outreach. That's something, you know, Director Hobart has been pushing for us to do. So we are working on it. Finishing our brand audit. Continue revamping IV Community Network to, you know, help promote information, like factual information about Isla Vista on different issues. Having a state of the district report, like we did have an annual report done once in 2017. So we want to do that again and continue doing that. Getting to a certain percentage of bilingual translation on our website, and then continue improving our civic leadership initiative, which just launched last year. And these are just all the different programs. And then strategic goal 3, Ivy residents enjoy a sustainable and high quality of life in their housing, parking, transportation, and neighborhood beauty. Lots of different things we can try to track on this one. And then some goals, helping the WAVE launch, which we have pretty much done, but now we just need to promote it with the new school year. Getting a parking program launched, working to ensure that the county money for lighting is implemented in a way that we would like, that's, you know, community focused, which we had a meeting about today. Getting our lighting program set up for us to distribute lighting to private property owners to get lighting put out. Getting Adopt a Block to continue, and getting the funding that used to go to that to continue in Isla Vista. Expanding our 24/7 food scrap drop-off bins so that we can spend less money on staff time to do those things. Creating a catalog, like especially a capital improvements plan for IV, looking at what's been done and what we would like to see happen. Finally, finishing our graffiti abatement policy implementation, and then getting our rental housing mediation program to be more used by groups that it's not fully utilized by right now. And then our dashboard, which we talked about. And then finally, strategic goal 4, making sure Isla Vista has a growing level of self-governance, sufficient resources to meet our own needs, and confident in the efficient use of existing resources. And yeah, we are going to be bringing revenue options to the board by November 2025. We're going to keep establishing relationships with our other major agencies that work on Isla Vista issues. We're going to talk about how we can make our current public spending more efficient, such as looking into County Service Area 31, reorganizing into IVCSD. We're going to keep an eye out on places to rent or lease and land to purchase or to be involved with more as a district. Keep working on compost collective efficiency measures, which we should have updates on soon. Our dashboard, and then finish our audit on the utility user tax. And that is our strategic plan for 2025, 2026.
Excellent. Thank you for the presentation. Any questions from the board?
I have some of them were more obnoxious than others.
Oh, good.
The first one for the first strategic goal under our outcomes. I noticed that under reduction in cliff, roof, and balcony falls, we don't have it going towards 0.
Oh yeah.
Is that just like a typo, or is that like
It's a typo.
Okay.
It's a typo.
See, that will be the most obnoxious question though.
It's a good point. I mean, the wording is the policy essentially. So is it towards 0 or not? That is something for us to say.
Yeah. And the next one was on, oh, I forget which strategic goal it was, but we're talking about additional trash cans alongside our bathrooms. are we only doing that along bathrooms, or could we do it like, say, more community gathering areas or areas of community events, so we could do like a
Yeah.
lot on DP and stuff too?
For these, we're only thinking during Deltopia.
Oh, okay.
Like more trash receptacles during Deltopia, because a lot of litter just gets
Yeah.
dumped everywhere.
But I
and we
just
end
wanted
up
to
picking
make
it up.
sure that this is not limiting us to only having like authority to put trash cans in your bathroom.
Oh, near
Okay,
about,
that's
yeah, I mean, we don't have to limit it. It
Okay.
won't limit us, but that's the thought, just because
It
we
won't
have the
limit us.
infrastructure already.
Okay.
So we'll at least start there, yeah.
Okay, and then this one, we're moving into less obnoxious now, and then this will be my last one. Can we focus on getting people to close the lids on their trash cans and dumpsters?
That's definitely, yes.
Okay,
It's
because this is like a personal pet peeve of
Yeah.
mine. I call it raccoon litter. And I was walking with a friend who's new to Isla Vista, and she was saying, it's so weird, Isla Vista seems like such an eco-friendly town, but everyone litters.
Yeah, I don't
And
know
I'm
if
like, wait,
Jenna
no,
is
it's the
on,
raccoons.
so Jenna is on the stream, so that's been a big project.
Okay,
She's been tasked with for many years now, and we have education campaign. Yeah, I'll just
Okay.
let Jenna talk about it. Go
I
ahead.
wish, anyway.
Hi, yes. From studying the situation, I do believe that people aren't littering. It's mostly that it's poor trash containment and animals are getting into it, and then the wind blows it around and then it turns into litter. So I completely agree. I'm on the same page. We have done a little bit to try and get that information out there, bag your trash, close your lids. We're working on trying to get carts on Del Playa rather than the current bins that have lids that can detach. We've also contacted Marburg to deliver lids to houses that didn't have them or they were missing. But I totally agree. I think that would be a worthwhile campaign to do at some point during the year, is just really honing in on how residents can take charge of their waste management and contain.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be in our move-in magazine, so we're gonna be
Awesome.
delivering a move-in magazine to all the houses, like how to be a resident in IV sustainably, so it'll be in there. And then like Jenna mentioned, there might be a county ordinance soon that will require the closing lids, like
Okay.
the bins that have attached lids.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
then everybody will have them, and that should hopefully, I mean,
Very
it won't
nice.
100% solve it, but it'll
yeah, yeah.
make a big progress towards it.
Okay, perfect. Because it also made me sad to think that like Isla Vistans are getting the like littering reputation as just
Right.
like a community pride thing. But okay, I'm glad.
And
I'm glad
I'll
we're
add
working
one
on
more
this.
thing, just the ordinance that Jen has worked on with the county. It's not just about the lids, it's about the amount of trash service. So a lot of
Oh.
landlords are, one, shifting trash service to tenants,
Hmm,
and sometimes they undersubscribe
yes,
to how much trash they should get, for
yes.
like,
Interesting.
8
Sometimes.
instead
because
of
how are you
10.
supposed to know that?
So then it just piles up.
yeah,
And
yeah.
even if you have a lid attached and there's too much trash, the lid will
overflowing or
sit
something.
open. So that is another thing that the ordinance would move trash service to the landlords and
Very
have
good.
mechanisms to enforce subscribing the right amount of trash.
Yeah.
So if
Nice.
someone keeps having
Awesome.
overloading, there will be consequences and it will be corrected. So
Awesome.
hopefully this problem
Okay.
will completely disappear in like 2 years.
What
Very
about
cool. Very cool.
like transitioning houses that have like giant, like huge amounts of residents from like just trash bins to dumpsters?
Yeah, so
Is
that'll be part of the
included?
ordinance. It'll give the
Okay.
county the abilities to make those determinations that
Okay.
someone's not getting enough trash service for their property to match how many people are, putting trash out. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's not a lot of teeth right now in the current ordinances. So the new ordinance will have more teeth of
Yeah.
giving the county tools to enforce.
That's very exciting.
That's
And
fascinating.
do we know if this is coming to the board of supervisors before the end of the calendar year, or do we have any indication?
Jenna can update on that. I don't remember the last.
Not yet. We're waiting. What are we waiting? I think we're waiting for Marburg to get a fee schedule together for the board of supervisors to review.
Okay.
But they did in June at their budget hearings empower their staff to do that. So it's in the works. It's just we don't have a timeline.
Excellent. Thank you for that very comprehensive update.
Can I share something? Because I just saw it the other day and I was so horrified. I was driving by and I saw a dumpster and I'm not sure if it was a fraternity or sorority. And the boxes were higher than the actual dumpster.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like none had been broken down and I
Yeah.
was like, it was so horrible to, so I didn't realize that individuals determine their trash needs
Mhm.
and services as opposed to the landlord. It makes sense why people under subscribe.
Yeah. So is there like certain areas in which trash is by the landlord and by the residents?
It's scattered.
It is
It's scattered, but
Okay.
soon the ordinance will say it has to be the property.
Okay, because I'm like, in my complex, the landlord decides
Yeah,
all of the
same.
scheduling.
No,
Yeah.
same.
And we never have any issues with our trash cans or anything,
Interesting.
because
Yeah.
I think it's. 'cause
It's
the
a newer
landlord has
trend.
Very frequent service going.
It's
Yeah.
a newer trend we've noticed.
Yeah.
It's something that wasn't the case 5 years ago. Like,
But in my opinion, the tendency for the property to not have enough capacity in the bins is not a new trend.
right.
That's something that has
yeah.
been around for a
Yeah.
while, since
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
more tenants started to be passed over the service bill.
Yeah, but I also think it's kind of part of a concerning trend of offloading landlord and property management responsibilities to the tenant, which is not my most favorite thing.
So I think it's great. So our role in this really is to help inform the county and participate in that process, as well as provide education, it sounds like.
We provide a lot of education to the residents, and Jenna's advocacy and research is what led the county to put this ordinance together. They wouldn't have done this without us. So.
Amazing.
We gotta include that
I'm
as one of the milestones of the
Yeah.
strategic.
We got the county to do something.
Yeah.
Guys, that's awesome.
No, it's not
Congratulations,
an easy
Jenna.
thing to do, but
That's
once you
crazy.
provide enough data, and then they own it themselves. That's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
important. It's their thing. Yeah.
And take the credit.
I mean, in my heart, I know it was Jenna.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. That's very hard to get the county to do something. I'm quite impressed.
Okay, any other questions on the strategic plan? I don't think I have any questions, but just a comment and feedback that I like the new format.
It's very good.
I appreciate that it's the strategic plan of the district, not just the goals of the board anymore. It's all one mission that we're all working on together, which I think is really helpful way of framing it. And I'm particularly excited for what we can do when it comes to some of our work communicating out to the public through the state of Isla Vista and the state of the district initiatives to try to give the community a different vision of Isla Vista than what they might see on the news. One of a place that has had so many improvements happen over the last decade, and that is only getting better as we continue to advocate for ourselves and be the squeaky wheel, just like the situation that was described now, to try and leverage the money that we have and the resource that we have, but also those that other agencies have for better outcomes. So I'm really excited about that in particular.
I mean, overall, the strategic plan looks awesome. It's really well put together. And I mean, everything that I can think of is on there. And I'm also kind of what Spencer was saying, or Director Brandt was saying, sorry, was, kind of use opportunities to toot our own horn and show like, no, the CSD in our very short lifespan has been very productive. I mean, even if you look at crime data over the past 10 years, it has plummeted. And it's a real big accomplishment, especially for our community. So I'm really excited for Isla Vista to get work on our already improving reputation and just show people, what we've done, especially the, new students coming in who've only ever been here with the CSD, and all of their older friends have only ever been here with the CSD. They don't quite know actually how much work, has been put into this and how much has been improved. So put your accomplishments on there. They're really good.
Excellent points. I'm not seeing any other comments from the board. So with that, I think do we have any public comment on the strategic plan?
I don't think so.
Okay, we'll go to a motion Anyone want to make one?
I will make a motion to go forward with voting on our strategic plan. Did I say that right? Did I do
I
that
just
right?
love having you here.
I didn't do it right.
You're very creative.
Approve the
Thank you.
Yeah, let's vote to approve it.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a motion by
made by three people.
Cepos. Is there a second?
I'll second it. I know. how to do
Seconded by
that.
Carmichael. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Excellent work figuring that out, figuring out that motion. We're now gonna move to IB Safe agenda preview for the August meeting.
All right, Ivy Safe, probably gonna be a smaller meeting tomorrow based on RSVPs, just because it's summer vacation time for a lot of people. And when I sent out the reminder like 2 weeks ago, I got 100, I'm out of office.
Yeah.
Responses, but it's
Literally? No.
yeah, not 100, no, but like a lot.
Yeah.
Half. But here's our agenda for Ivy Safe tomorrow. One is getting started on planning Deltopia 2026. That's one of our goals. And we're just gonna really focus on the different issue areas that we can spin off 1 or 2, maybe 3 groups to focus on. We already said media and communications at the last Ivy Safe was gonna be an important work group for us to have. And then risk and harm reduction approaches would be another one, which was a big issue we worked on last 2025 in terms of EMTs and the sobering center and whatnot. So spinning off into different groups to focus on Deltopia issues that we want to solve. Then we want to present to the group some of IVCSD's plans for sexual assault prevention resources in this next year, and really highlight one of our goals, which is to create that flow chart that has clear understanding of all the different organizations and agencies and their roles on this issue. And then finally, another topic that's been on the future agenda item list for a while, which is emergency communication in Isla Vista. We're just gonna provide a quick, here's the status quo as we know it, and then have some discussion of what gaps have been brought forward by residents and brainstorm potential solutions that we'll spin off and work on later. But we wanted to raise it as an issue with the group since our board had asked to do that. Those are the 3 topics for Ivy Safe, and we don't have an update on the peer-to-peer program for neighborhood noise concerns. Just haven't been able to work on that since May, but that's something that we will come back to. We already gave them a presentation from SLO on their program at the last Ivy Safe, but we haven't had any progress since then.
Thank you, Jonathan. Any questions from the board?
I have a question and a comment. Okay, so my suggestion, comment, I have a question. I'm gonna say it's a question, but it's not really, it's a comment. It's a suggestion. Is to, because you don't know who's gonna be here at the meeting tomorrow, I guess it might be nice to have a section where it's an open forum.
Okay.
Or that you go around and the people, the entities that are there can just kind of maybe give a touch point of, top of mind for them, just because you don't know who's all gonna be there. And because you've got some important things on the agenda, and I guess what bums me out is that is to think that there might not be all the people in the room that are needed to really have meaningful conversation.
Yeah.
And then I think, then it just means you're gonna have to bring up these things again.
We are gonna probably do that in October. Like no matter what, we were gonna have a Deltopia issue in October. And I will say at the very least, like we have a calendar invite. So I do know that we have at least one high level person.
Oh, that's good.
From university, one high level person from sheriff's office, and one from the county. So we at least have like Lieutenant Tesla or Commander Tesla will be there, for example, but Joe Schmidt won't. But it's just the cycle of the summer. But
that's good.
Yeah.
If there were any gaps, I'd just say, it's just kind of missed opportunity to have really important agenda items and not have the people there who can really talk about it, but
Yeah.
it sounds like you've thought about it already. So
And
it's
the
fine.
open forum's a good idea. It's actually what the district attorney used to do when she led IV Safe back in
Yes.
the day. It was the last item was always, everyone goes around and says one thing they're
And it
thinking
was
about.
good. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember that. We learned things that we didn't know, and that was really valuable because
Yeah.
it was like top ahead things that were going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah.
I did forget it till now.
So my question is, so the flow chart for sexual violence prevention, I think is something that I view as really critical. I know that in my work, when I worked for the county on mental health policy, having the incompetent to stand trial flow chart was so critical to helping understand what is the process by which someone who has a mental health, a serious mental illness, for them to actually get categorized as incompetent to stand trial within the criminal justice system. I view the current system by which a survivor of sexual violence comes forward and is served through law enforcement, through the judicial process, and through the investigatory process as a real black box. And it's something that I think was really brought to light over this past year as we evaluated our program. And so what's the point at which we talk about that? That would be under item 4, plans for sexual assault prevention.
It's gonna be, one of the first things in our plans, and we can just zone in on that. We were gonna go over the fact that we were gonna do these other preventative resources this year, but the flow chart's top right here.
Yeah, and I just see that as really critical because the work that we do on prevention is something that I think needs to be informed by our partners in law enforcement, but it's not mission critical for them. It is mission critical that they and the district attorney and the justice partners are involved in that flow chart, though.
Yeah,
because they've got the know-how, the knowledge. Any other questions from the board?
Who from the board is going?
I will be there, and I think I can designate an alternate. So, or did we already designate?
We didn't designate.
Okay.
We didn't officially vote on it, I think.
I don't think we need to though, because it's an appointment.
It's just, yeah.
So I, for the record, have appointed Catherine as the alternate to Edward, since Edward is out of town. And yeah, look forward to going and causing some good trouble tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll be there in my UCSB.
Oh, cool.
Excellent.
Cool.
See, of course, we're gonna have all the stars.
Everyone's gonna be here. I'm excited to see what we'll do because I saw on the calendar that Halloween is on an actual Friday, or actual Halloween is on a Friday this year.
Yeah. That one's been, that's one of the few things that's been solved.
Yeah, I think we can leave it off the agenda.
Yeah, cool.
Just let
It's
it go.
nice that we don't even have to think about it anymore.
I won't bring old wounds back.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we need a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll move to adopt the agenda.
I will second.
Made by Deschler, seconded by Seacos. Any public comment on the ID Safe agenda? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, moving on to update from Isla Vista Food Co-op.
All right, so, we put in the staff report that we've now had a period of time where we did the first phase of the membership program with the Ivy Food Co-op. We've had 50 people take us up on the offer. It is, I have to say it's a lower number, but the program was kind of kneecapped by the county at one point because they delayed implementation by a month because they wanted to do their own review of we have the authority to do this, which we did, and we confirmed it and it got all solved. But we lost a month of prime time when we would have been promoting the program to people, before move out happened. So that's part of the reason why there's been a lower uptake of it. But of the people who did take the membership, they seem to become active users of the co-op and spent $6,000 there over the last few months. And the co-op has also been pretty proactive And, one of the things in our MOU was to do more community outreach to the community of Isla Vista about the co-op, and both to promote it and to hear issues from the community, like the residents, their issues. And so we did canvassing alongside their board, our staff and their board members canvassed in May. They've had a few town halls in this room, and just recently last week. And we've also worked with them to create some guides to help our new members and all residents know how to most effectively shop at the co-op and kind of get to the cost priorities that students have. So we've been working on them with that. It's always going to be improving, and there's a lot to be done. Maya's working on that, but it's been going, and they've also been able to raise $120,000 in fundraising, and they think they've gotten $180,000 in tax credits. So they've been able to bring in support to stabilize themselves further. And so we're recommending at this point, and we've also expanded the area of eligibility for the membership program, and we're suggesting we just expand it to the whole community at this point, since we gave the priority areas their time. Yeah, we're recommending to allocate the remaining 25,000 or release it. We had said we will kind of wait to review the program, but release the next 25,000 and continue just the activities we're doing to promote membership in the neighborhoods and to totally lost my train of thought. Promote the memberships and promote the co-op as a whole to the community. So yeah, that is our report. And the co-op was able to provide us a lot of data. It was hard to condense it all. We gave you the most critical data points, which is the transaction rate and the amount of sales and number of the takers, but there's a lot more that we're diving into, but we had just received it on Friday, so still need to look into it. But there's a lot of data about the people who got our memberships and what they're doing with it.
Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you for the report. Any questions from the board?
Do you think it'll pick up when school starts?
I think so. Now that it's August, after this, after today, what we'll do is we'll start going. We have the list of the current households that people have taken. We're going to go to them, ask if they want to renew or bring in the new residents. And then now it's going to be a great thing, especially with the move-in week and all the different activities. Like, we're going to be tabling and canvassing a lot for the next couple months, like September, October, really getting out there. And so it's going to be a great time, because I think last time we were doing it starting in the middle of May, we had really 1 month. People were on their way out mentally. So I think the interest was just lower. And now people are on their way in. They want to prep for the year. So I think it's going to be just a great benefit that we can talk to people at tables and, hey, here's something we can provide as your local government. So I think it'll be pretty successful.
Cool. Could I ask, of the 50 that have joined the program so far, do you have a sense of how they found out about it?
I don't know how they found out about it, but I know what we've done. I mean, we've done social media, which has been a minimal amount of the work. A lot of it has been door-to-door canvassing and like directly talking to people and dropping off literature of how to shop at the co-op well, and here's the benefits of your membership. So I would assume it's the canvassing, just because we put a lot of time, like intern time into it. Yeah. But we can ask. That's something we can add into the feedback when they sign someone up. They can
it tells us a lot about how we're reaching people.
And I super appreciate the report. I'm very supportive of for the second tranche of funding, expanding the eligibility area to include all of IV. I think that it was great that we started in the most parking congested area, but I hear from residents all the time that everywhere is parking congested, and I empathize with that feeling. So I think it's good that we're expanding that. And I think too that while we're focused just on our specific program, I think it's great that what the food co-op has been able to do in this like really tricky time, to be able to engage with the community, to be supported by not just ourselves, but others in the community with the amount of money that they have raised. It was awesome to hear they got the employee retention tax credit to bring in even more revenue. I've been impressed with their board, who have been under management of this store and have been both managing the day-to-day operations as well as going out and like trying to raise money and meeting with donors. And I got to be a part of a meeting with the Ivy Food Co-op and UCSB Alumni Affairs recently, where they had some really creative ideas about how they could work together to highlight how the food co-op is in many ways like a UCSB institution with many UCSB alumni that have created it and continue to participate. And so I just think that there's a lot of energy there. I feel confident that they are taking energetic steps to try to improve their situation. And I hope that this will help to further engage with the community. I think it will be really great to have it as a tool within our toolbox to engage residents on, hey, maybe you don't need to have your car here because we've got a grocery store that you now can have a membership to. So I'm appreciative of staff for working with the food co-op to put this together. This is like kind of unlike anything that we've done before, and it's required a lot of creativity and flexibility. And it also invited some scrutiny from the county, but I think it's good that we're able to move forward with this.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You summarized everything so well, but I have to go back. Why did the county, what authority does the county have to tell a district how to spend its money?
It was the auditor controller's office, and they click send on the money we own. So they were using that authority of looking over they asked, what authority do you have? What project metrics are you going to be using to even make sure this is successful? I'm like, that's none of your business. They had like a couple other areas of concern, but they wanted to know the Cole's financial state. Like, are you guys wasting money doing this or not? I mean, they had all these different areas.
I don't understand by what authority.
Never happened before for any other issue ever again. Like, we've never had this happen.
And who else do they like do?
Yeah, do they do that to the city of Goleta, city of Santa Barbara?
No, I mean, I think it's because we have our money with them that it goes through the auditor's controller's office. Every time money comes out the door for us, they sign off too.
But like Wells Fargo doesn't ask me what I'm using my money for when I go to the ATM, you know. What? I was like, Wells Fargo doesn't ask me what I'm using my money for when I go to the ATM.
I mean,
it's really unusual. It's never happened before.
Let's call it what it is. It's the same patronizing attitude that has kept Isla Vista in a state of lacking services for decades.
Yeah,
and
it's offensive.
I'm glad that we were able to get it resolved. And
Jamie had to do some extra work, and I had to. We just had to provide like legal justification.
Which is, I mean, I'm glad that y'all persevered, but I think very silly that you had to do in the first place.
It was annoying.
Yeah, we're gonna have a new expense, and it's gonna be like an in-house therapist just having to help the staff to deal with all the BS from the county.
Another question: why are they saying they suddenly need 880,000 instead of the original 200,000?
The 200,000 was a checkpoint, so it was $1 million total.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, Jonathan, better you
than me.
Okay, so I think we need a motion to adopt the 25,000 allocation and the revisions to the program. I think I heard a whisper over there.
So moved. She wants me to say so
I'm
moved.
I'm coaching our newest board member.
Thank you, parliamentarian.
I'm still waiting.
So moved.
Okay.
So
There's a motion by Carmichael. Is there a second?
I was thinking.
Second by Sipos. Any public comment online about this report? Okay, bring it back to the board. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we have a closed session, but I think it's probably easier if let's just get through reports from members of the board first for posterity for the public. My one report is myself, Director Sipos, and Director Carmichael got to have a meeting with Supervisor Nelson regarding our parking compliance item that is going to be coming to the Board of Supervisors. It sounds like the latest update is sometime now in September. We don't have a date yet for that. But we were able to talk with him a little bit just about the unique situation that Isla Vista is in from a parking impacts perspective. Jonathan and I also got to meet with Supervisor Hartman and Gina Fisher about the issue. And then I had the chance to attend former UCPD Chief Alex Yao's retirement party, which is a great way to send off very well attended over at the UCPD headquarters. Any other reports?
I have a report, but I can't really remember all the details and I can't find it right now. But I will just say that, you know what, I'm just not gonna say it because I don't want to be obnoxiously terrible in the details.
Okay, I have one more thing too to report, which is that
Give me time.
I reached out to UCSB staff to welcome and acknowledge the incoming chancellor of UCSB, Chancellor Sanis. I think that we're really excited to have new leadership at the university. We had amazing progress that was made under Chancellor Yang in terms of viewing Isla Vista and the university as one whole community. And I'm really looking forward to us continuing that productive relationship with Chancellor Sanis. So as soon as I get an email address, I will tell him that myself. But for now, I've reached out, and since I was asked what I thought about him in the newspaper, that is what I said to the newspaper. So
cool.
Yes.
I remembered. Actually, I just found it in my email. So I wanted to let people know that this week on Monday, that there was a draft mitigated negative declaration. I'm sorry, I'm not a planner. I don't know what this means, but essentially it means that UCSB is doing a project in Isla Vista. And the project is the Kavli Institute for Theoretical Physics, KITP House Project. And it is on Camino Pescadero. And it's going to be, so I can send this to people. We can post it on the website if you like. But essentially, it's going to be a new 3-story, 53,000 gross square feet building. It's going to have 33 residential units and focus. This is not funny. And the focus is to house people who come to study physics from around the world, to have a place to stay. So it's workforce housing for our visitors and faculty, some faculty visitors, and also grad students, postdocs who are coming to the area. So it's right next to Friendship Manor.
They need more houses.
Oh, it's in that lot. It's in that empty
It's
lot.
in the empty lot
Next to Friendship Manor. Okay.
This is different from the Munger physics residence.
It's right across the street.
But
yes,
is the one and the same? No.
No. It's it's affiliated. It's just allows for more 33 more units for people to come visit. So what it's doing is enabling people to be near campus, so that it won't be driving from other Santa Barbara or Goleta, and also not renting facilities in Goleta or Santa Barbara.
Schmooze for public parking under the building.
What's that?
Should we schmooze for public parking under the building?
Or on top of it?
I cannot comment one way or another.
Yeah, I think we're gonna bring it. Thank you for
I did want to say that this,
Could I ask a clarifying question?
Oh, I hope
No comments?
Yes,
Okay, so this is university is building 33 units for traveling people. Do we expect for all the units to be continuously occupied?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
And then we can talk to tax them.
We can
Transit,
what?
we can talk to them, the transit occupancy tax.
It won't be in the district.
There won't be, because it's like, it's not a hotel.
Cool, okay. And it's not in district anyways. So
Yeah.
No,
removes the point.
yes,
Yeah.
it's university property.
Okay.
So I will, I'll send this to Jonathan. Jonathan, you can circulate.
I actually have it. So I
Okay,
can
cool.
circulate it,
I
Yeah, I
thought people might be interested in that.
I think it would be helpful to have a hearing about the project here where we can get more information, because if that is true and that we're losing a parcel from the district's boundaries by virtue of the parcel changing ownership, I think that's something that we should have a hearing about, so that we understand the implications of this, because to my understanding, that's the first time that that's happened in our existence.
I think it happened one other time, potentially. Dublin's
Mm.
was originally when the first map was announced.
but that was, well, yeah, whatever, we'll go back and we'll look at it, but that's not how I remember the timeline, but I don't remember it clearly. Okay, any other reports from members of the board?
I believe I have reports if I am doing the section correctly. Let's see, throwback all the way in June, I attended Supervisor Cap's Goleta Beach Summer Kickoff event just for some nice schmoozing and to remind the county that we are here. Let's see. Then we also went to, were you there for your UCSB hat or were you there for the 101 funding at the library? You were there, you were there. Were you there for UCSB?
UCSB.
Okay, so we attended that to celebrate the funding going through for 101 improvement projects. And there was a lot of people that.
It was a who's who.
It was. I think that's it. You said everything else that I went to. That was with you.
Awesome. Reports from standing and ad hoc committees. We just had finance committees in the form of the budget.
Policy committee next week.
Policy committee is next week. Okay. Report from district council.
Yes, just a brief report. I've been working really closely with Jonathan on the parking district and hopefully having that implemented soon. And that's about it on my end.
Thank you very much for that, council. Report from general manager.
All right, just a couple updates on different programs. One, we're hiring currently for a community spaces position, project manager, so let people know. It is required you speak Spanish for that role, but
it is, isn't?
It is required. It is required. But let people know about applying. Our move-in sale is coming soon. New location of the IV Community Center parking lot in early September before move-in, but TBD of the date. County projects, 2 are coming to the facilities. We just learned about today, actually. A path of travel from the community center parking lot to the clinic, like basically, just a path through the lawn. And then the floor for the community center, finally, after 7 years. It's coming, so yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears for that floor.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see though. It's coming a year and a half ago though, but we'll see.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? The path of travel is from the community center parking lot
to the clinic.
To the clinic, so it will go
through the lawn. Yeah,
through the lawn. Okay.
No, it's just dirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are coming.
Looking forward to how you and our team can assert ourselves in that process, because I imagine that's probably going to involve a retaining wall.
They already did the design without us.
Okay.
So yeah.
I was gonna say, is the path
even
of
though we
travel
asked to be involved,
gonna be paved?
Well, bring it to us and we can complain about it if you think it's bad. But if you think it,
yeah, we'll see. We're meeting soon to hear the news.
Paved? Is it gonna be paved?
Yeah, it's gonna be cement. It's like
it's an
ADA, like.
Oh, this is ADA.
Thank you.
Yeah. Which it's good that it's happening because
it's good.
we've been asking for this sort of improvements to be made.
It would be
It's
nice
just frustrating to not be notified.
We knew about it. We asked to be involved, and then they were like, yes, and then now the design's done.
Cool. So what property is that cutting through IVRPD property?
Only through ours, like the lawn is part of it's ours. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, the county's land.
It's the county's land.
Yeah, like we said, September, we don't know which September date. We'll have the Board of Supervisors meeting with our parking loan. There's one last question to resolve on terms of like the term of the loan, like how long we have to pay it back. That's the last thing to resolve. But we also had a meeting, me and Jenna, with Goleta yesterday to learn about their parking, their parking program. Learned so much about parking, and we learned that Carpinteria does parking in-house with their staff, not with a contractor or the sheriff. So they're most like us. So we'll go
and they're
meet with
in
them
coastal zone?
Yeah. So we'll go talk to them next.
Nice.
But that was a hint from Goleta that I didn't know. No one knew that they do it with in-house staff as well. So
that's awesome.
Goleta uses the sheriff's office.
Right.
We also had a good meeting with the county today. We helped them find $100,000 in lighting money they had allocated. So now we have $250,000 again to spend. And we're just helping prioritize, which we already have, but we're continuing to let them know where the money should be spent. We also had a small conversation with the city of Goleta about library services and
Oh,
whether or not we're committed to the way it's been the last 5 years, or if we want to make it different. And he said, yes, we've always wanted to make it different with a reading room here. So we'll see where that conversation goes.
yeah.
Our year-end finances, it was a smooth ending this year, thanks to Sydney being on board.
Yay.
And our deficit ended a little better than we expected. So
That's
we were
so
thinking
good.
160, it was 120. So not bad. And yeah, we're saying goodbye to 3 staff this month. So 40% turnover pretty much. And yeah, we have also, on a related note, I attended a training on workforce planning and
Yeah.
development 2 weeks ago, and finance development and planning. So keeping an eye on those things. But yeah, that's my report.
Okay.
And to follow up, I hope that you're taking some sick days.
I'm not, I was sick 2 weeks ago and I'm
Oh.
just still congested, I think
Oh,
with the
you're
fire or
coughing a
something.
lot.
I'm
Feel
totally
bad for
fine.
you.
It's just like the lingering.
Okay,
Yeah, and I was sick and I did take 2 sick days 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
so.
good for you. Oh my goodness.
Okay, thanks for the report.
Mhm.
We are now going to recess to closed session for public employee discipline dismissal release authorized under Government Code 54957B1. We will reconvene in open session in approximately 15 minutes. I'm going to be ambitious when I say that.
Do you have a place to be?
uh,
Kidding.
just I'm moving us along. So we are now adjourned to closed session.
Awesome. Do we have to?
We're okay. No one's gonna come through.
Oh, okay.
It's empty. But it's a short update, which is
Jonathan, I think the YouTube stream is still.
my bad.
Very good. You told me about blue.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's it.
I know this almost seems corny, but I feel like it would be good for us to start doing like, I saw them do that in Carpinteria.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree.
okay.
We need a
So are
grace
we,
period.
are we
We're good.
back on?
We're good. Yeah.
We are reconvening from closed session. Council, can you report out?
Yes, so the board met in closed session on item 5.1.1, public employee discipline / dismissal / release authorized under California Government Code Section 54957B1. Discussion was had, no direction given, no reportable action taken.
Thank you, council. Future meeting dates and agenda items. Our next regular meeting will take place on September 9th, 2025. Can I get a check on in person for that date? We got a
September
big
9th.
thumbs down from
The next
trip to
5
Paris.
meetings.
September
So-
9th.
So
yeah.
we will work with Carrie, Edward, and Kylan.
Yes.
I believe Edward might be back, but we will.
Yeah, maybe.
Um,
Carrie said she will though.
Okay,
The 9th is
excellent.
good.
From her Alaskan.
And then
Um,
future agenda items you guys have is, we were let known that Marcos, who's been our library appointee,
Yes.
to the library board, he's not anymore, so we need to fill his seat. We didn't get UCPD to present their annual reports back in June that they were supposed to, so they will be coming back to do that.
Okay.
And we may have a draft agreement from the county for us to, give our stamp of approval to for the parking loan, potentially, depending on the timing. They might time us where we don't have a board meeting in advance to do it, and they might time it where we do, so.
Mhm.
So,
If
so
we-
just as a,
yeah.
as a follow-up to that, if they do, because there's a board of supervisors meeting on September 9th,
Right.
where I've been informed there's going to be a housing appeal in Isla Vista.
Mhm.
And so if they do schedule all the Isla Vista items together, we might not have a regular meeting beforehand. So there is a chance that there might be a special meeting that we need to call
Maybe,
prior to that.
if we wanted to. We weren't gonna do it for July 1st, when we didn't know that was gonna be bumped yet,
Yeah.
so it's up to you on how you wanna do it.
Yeah, so I think what will happen is that once our staff and council will actually get to see what is being proposed, we will evaluate and decide if it is mission critical or not for us to have a board meeting to review it beforehand, or if it's consistent with previous board direction. We will plan to support the program and initiatives, and we'll just like regular go to the meeting and support. And Jonathan will keep the board informed over email as to any developments. Does that sound good? Okay.
You said September 9th.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's looking likely, Spencer's.
Spencer, what did you say that was on the board agenda regarding a housing appeal?
There is an appeal of the Mission Isla Vista housing project, which is at 6737 Sueño Road. And that the premise of that appeal, or one of the premises, is parking congestion.
Got it.
And so
Got it.
that's why I wonder if they will want to stack all the Isla Vista items together on the same day.
Sure.
But we will wait to see.
And another item is LAFCO asked us if we want to change our boundaries to include the university. Well, not our boundaries, our sphere of influence, sorry.
Oh,
Very
okay.
different
Yes.
sphere of influence to include the university. So we have to decide on that on September 9th as well.
Okay, cool.
Good to know. And good to know now that our sphere of influence already contains a property that's not, that's owned by UCSD.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Potentially.
Okay, with that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.